Yeah.
Good evening,
good.
everybody. Let's get started. We'll do a roll call for attendance. First area K1UU is here, and WN1F.
Thank you, Fred.
Anyone from second call area? I don't see Peter. How about area 3? Okay. I haven't seen Keon in a long time. Fourth call area.
K9 GWS present, and Dwight's here as well. WF4H.
Excellent. Thanks. Good evening. Fifth call area.
Fifth here, WA6LBU.
Good evening, Clay. Sixth call area.
KJ80 present.
Good evening, Joe. Seventh call area.
Randy, you're muted.
Okay, am I on now?
Yeah, you're good.
Okay, I'm in for Ron this evening, K7BGL.
Okay. Good evening, Randy. Eighth call area. I haven't seen. Okay, no 8. Ninth call area.
You got it, W9ROG.
Good evening, Roger. 10 land.
A0HF is here.
Good evening, Eric. And DX.
VE3CMB, we're here.
Good evening, Craig. VP. I don't see Bob.
He is on his way right now. I just did. There he is.
Okay. Oh, he changed his call sign back. That was funny, right? Come on, it was a little bit funny. Let's go with KI7PM. I'm going to assume.
You ought to hear how many times he goes back and says the old one when he's calling Annette, too. 5 times the other night.
Wow. It's our age. It's our age. And President, good evening, Dean, KL7OR.
President accounted for.
There you go.
Speaking of new call signs and mucking it up about 15 times during the iPhone.
Again, it's got something to do with age. Okay, so we've got the present list, and I had a picture of the. Okay, so the first motion is to approve the minutes from the July meeting. Can I get a second?
Second, K9
Second.
GWS.
Thank you, Gary. So let's take a roll call. First,
Can I make a comment first?
I'm sorry.
Oh, yeah, I'd like to make a comment before we start on the vote. Under the part for the motion to adjourn, they have my call sign shown as KJ8 with a closed parenthesis.
I'm sorry. I'm having trouble hearing you.
Never mind, I got it.
I'll relay it to you, Fred. His call sign in the minutes has been boogered up, and Rusty has it corrected.
All right.
He had
So
3 weeks to tell me.
And Ralph is on board.
Okay, Ralph. KG8WL. Good evening, Ralph. We haven't taken any votes or anything, so we'll call Ralph here. So, for approval of last month's minutes, the first area abstains. I wasn't at the meeting. Thank you, Gary, for running the meeting. Second call area, no Peter, so.
AC2MT was designated to be here, but he's not here. I got a call from Peter earlier in the week. So,
how's he doing? Everything
he broke his shoulder, so he is back in an extended period of recovery. So, yeah, but he sounded good. And he's sending out his emails too. So anyway, go ahead.
Well, he's got to be doing pretty good. I got an envelope full of cards from him. So,
Yeah.
okay. Third call area, not present. Fourth call area.
Approved. K9 GWS.
Okay. Thank you, Gary. Fifth call area.
Approved, WA6LBU.
Okay. Thank you, Clay. Sixth call area.
Sixth area approves KJ 80.
What's your call sign again?
KJ 8 close parenthesis.
Okay. Seventh call area.
I abstain.
Okay. Did you say abstain, Randy?
Ready. Yep.
Thank you. Ralph, are you on audio?
I hope so.
Well, you are, and you're looking good.
Oh, thank you.
The minutes from the July meeting, your vote.
Approved, KG8WL.
Thank you. Ninth call area, Roger.
Approved, W9ROG.
Thank you. 10th call area, Eric.
Approved, AA0HF.
Thank you. DX Land.
And V3CMB approve.
Thank you, Craig. Mr. VP.
Approved, KI7PM.
All right, got you, Bob. Good evening. And President.
President approves.
All right, so I count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 approves, 2 not present, 2 abstain. Okay, so the next motion on the docket is, let me just write a note to myself before I forget. The next motion on the docket is the financial report for July. Can I get a second?
V3CMB.
We've got Craig for a second. And let's do a roll call vote. First call area, K1UU approves. Second call area, not present. Third call area, not present. Fourth call area.
Approved. K9 GWS.
Okay, approve. Fifth call area.
Approved, WA6LBU.
Thank you. Sixth call area.
Sixth area approves KJ 80.
Thank you. Seventh call area.
Abstain.
Okay, we got you abstaining. Eighth call area, Ralph.
Approved, KG8WL.
Thank you. Ninth call area.
Approved, W9ROG.
10th call area, Eric.
Approved, AA0HF.
Okay, DX.
V3CMB approve.
Thank you, Craig. VP.
KI7PM approved.
Thank you. And President, Dean.
President approves.
Thank you. So one more time, 1, 2, 3. So this should be 10, 2, and 1 abstain. Okay. All right. That's our scorekeeping. And because I have a short memory, I got to flip screens to look at the agenda. Okay. Do we have any discussion or comments on the committee reports that were published? Gary's came out and Ben's came out, and I didn't see anything from Matt. But any comments or discussion? Okay, moving forward, and we get to go to the star of our. For the fifth item on the eyeball, I wanted to put my personal thank you to W8NET Miles, Gene, for running a successful eyeball. All the reports I got back were very positive. Everybody had a good time. So any other comments or thank yous for Miles on the eyeball?
I'll just chime in, Fred, too, and say that it was a great eyeball. Really enjoyed it, and he did a good job.
I have to.
Oh, sorry.
Go ahead, Craig.
Yeah, no, my only regret was I wasn't there, but from all the correspondence I've seen, all the emails I've seen, and traffic, seems like you guys had a fantastic time. Great, super job, Miles.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, Gene did a great job, and I think we were the last attendees to leave the building, and he looked pretty tired, on Sunday, but yeah, he really did a good job, and I, the hospitality was great. His family helped out, which was great. I mean, it was just, just kudos. So, Gene, again, on behalf of the club, I'd like to thank you one last time. Job well done.
Thank you, all, everyone. It was a pleasure, and I would do it again. And maybe I will. I was happy with the results. Thanks, guys.
Well, Miles, have you bounced back? Are you back to full strength or what?
I feel.
Okay.
I'm back. I'm trying to make fun of it, but I needed 2 or 3 days of good deep sleep. But after that, I'm fine.
Well, that's good to hear. Thank you again. So moving on. Item 6, Dean will have an open discussion regarding possible approach and how to approach eyeballs. Eyeballs are handled by the club. Dean was nice enough to send out some notes on his intentions. The floor is yours, Dean.
Thank you. Actually, I have 3 items tonight to discuss, but we'll talk about the eyeball. So during the eyeball, I had discussions with a couple of people about, how well Gene had done, and he brings some previous experience. But the discussion of our eyeball guidelines came up again, and I took it upon myself to say, well, let's take a look at that one more time. Let's get some of the recent eyeball hosts together and see if we just can't clean that up a little bit with the wording and do some templates and make it easy so we can start recruiting for the 2023 host, because we all should be looking for a host for next year's eyeball. The clock is ticking. So I asked Katie, K4TER, to kind of head that up. And, we had a couple of really good discussions. And then I talked to the eyeball host. The eyeball hosts are Gene and Kurt, Clay, and Bill Dobson. All 4 of them ran really, really good eyeballs, and they have some good insight. Again, I'm not trying to change policy here. I'm just trying to do a little bit of cleanup so that as we move into 2023, it might be a little bit less intimidating if we present that. So the timeline is to get a preliminary put together. I am going to run that by the PAC, let them take a quick look at it and ask for comment, and then it'll come back to the board for discussion. And ultimately, if they feel that we need to do an approval on it, we can put it up to a board meeting for approval. So I think that there's still some long-term issues that need to be resolved, and it's not this group's mission to tackle that kind of stuff. It's basically, let's say we do the clean up the language and let's get some templates there. I think just one example that popped up that we should be doing every year is the announcements. And Eric did Kurt did a really good job at every week having a different announcement. So we took those and carried them forward to this year. And we were promoting the eyeball, for at least 12 weeks that I know of. And I think that it works. I do. So, any comments?
Thank you for doing it. Oh, Roger.
Yes.
He's volunteering, isn't he?
I could have sworn I heard that.
Me too.
I'd like a little clarification.
Fifth area appearance.
What?
Sorry.
Go ahead, Raj.
Roger, the floor is yours.
I was talking to a couple people also. who had eyeballs. So please correct me if I'm wrong, because I don't know. I'm asking. So if an eyeball makes money, the club wants that money back. Is that correct? Anybody?
That's not written anywhere.
Not written down. It's
not.
an expectation, but it's not written down.
It's an expectation.
Okay.
Yes.
But if the eyeball loses money, hey, thanks a lot. You did a great job, but you're out that money. Is that correct?
Right. I think that's true, Roger. And I think that's one of the long-term issues Dean was referring to.
Right.
I think what he's trying to do is tighten things up, get 2023 so it doesn't have to be a drama story. And then when we get some breathing room, we'll get together on the issues like you're talking about. I'm guessing, Dean, is
you're spot on. No, you're spot on. I just, like I said, the whole idea here was to clean up the language, maybe get some templates put together, get some documentation so that it's not as overwhelming for somebody to come in and try to figure out all of the bits and pieces. Come up with a couple of really good sample proposals and put them into this document saying, this is kind of a boilerplate of what you could do, kind of a thing. So that whoever's wanting to make a bid for the eyeball, it's going to be a little bit easier. Now, yes, there are some long-term issues, Raj, and I don't know of any place that really covers anything like that. I mean, anything like the finances or liability or anything else. I mean, we just haven't covered that. And that's something that, again, we need to tackle later on. But what our goals now is we need to get a host lined up for 2023.
Well, I'll tell you right now, there's no way in hell I would say, yeah, I'll do it. If it cost me $5,000, hey, it's for the club, no big deal.
Yeah.
No, I mean, Gene, he stepped up and he did, the right thing by holding the eyeball. Okay. I am guessing that he lost significant money on it. But please, Gene, don't comment. I'm not looking for that. I think this should be one of the first things we tackle, because who is going to want to hold an eyeball, do all that work, and then possibly be out thousands of dollars out of their pocket?
Raj, can I say something small?
Yeah, anything you want, Gene.
I have sent a draft preliminary post financial to Dean. It was only a couple of hours ago, so but that's my fault. But I have no problem for everyone seeing all the finances. And Dean, you can make that on the record if you want. And I'm done.
Well, no, Gene, it wasn't your fault for not, posting it sooner. I know in years past, it was like months before the eyeball host posted their summary. But that's not the point. The point is, nobody, I'm not talking about you, Gene, but nobody else in their right mind is going to try and tackle something like this with the possibility of being out thousands of dollars out of their pocket additionally.
Well, I was prepared for that. I didn't know, and I didn't want it, but I was prepared for it. But okay. I knew most will not know.
So Roger, I'm sorry.
Hold on, folks.
I'm done. I said my piece.
Comment.
Go ahead, Gary.
Yeah. So what I was going to say, Roger, was I agree with you. I think this has been kind of a muddy thing for a long time.
Yep.
And we need to put a stake in the ground for what we're going to do here. And, you know, I saw some people shaking their heads that says the eyeball host always made up the difference. That hasn't always occurred.
Right.
And it's been fairly inconsistent in what we're doing. And the message is also really inconsistent. So what I'm thinking is what this team that Dean put together is they're working on the operational things, which is stuff the board really, you know, other than to look at and comment on it, probably should be involved with, right? That's not our role. However, how we handle this financially is the board's job, in my opinion. We could be talking about that separately in a separate channel while the eyeball team is doing their work.
Agreed.
I like that idea, Gary. And Roger, were you finished, Gary? I'm sorry.
I'm done. I'm done, Fred. Sorry.
Okay. A couple other items, just food for thought, Roger, along your lines of thinking. Most eyeballs, the entry fee doesn't cover the expenses, and a lot of it is made up by raffles.
Right.
And almost every raffle we run is illegal. So that's something to consider. Okay.
No.
And we're small fry, but I mean, you know, the law is the law. And there's other issues where, you know, who's liable and stuff like that. So it would be great if we could get a group of board people, because like Gary says, that's the board's job, and start kicking around some of these issues. And there's not that many of them, but they're tough things to answer. So anyway, I'm done. Anybody else got any comments? Dean,
Yeah, I
you?
do.
Who?
Ralph. Go ahead, Ralph.
Yeah, I think that the biggest problem with that is that eyeball hosts have to be told that rather than let their what they want to do drive how much they spend, do it backwards, where plan to cover your basic expenses, and any revenue beyond that justifies further expenses. I think some have been doing that backwards.
Well, okay. Noted. I don't want to debate with you, Ralph. That's a good point. It's just that as soon as Miles put his fee out for the thing, there were comments on the reflectors that, hey, between that fee and the price of a room, that's too expensive for me. So it's a fine balance, and it's a nuanced thing. So if we can get some volunteers to kick this around, I think that would be a great idea. Anyway, we'll go from there. Any other comments? Or Dean, you were showing us that.
I was just showing you the last page of what Gene sent to me.
Right.
If you want to take a quick look at it, essentially, and Gene's here to answer any questions, but you know, I looked through it and you know, he's got things pretty well detailed out here, right? I'm not going to go back and say, well, you know, you overspent dinner by $50 or anything else. That's not my job. That's not our job to do. And
right.
As I understand it, Gene, you are going to return $1,000 to the club, and you'll be out $820. Is that how I read this?
Well, if I return the $1,000, I'll be out $1,800.
Oh, $1,800. Okay.
And change.
Okay. I'm going to move this on to the board reflector this month, Gene, and we'll see if we can't get you an answer of what we want to do. You know, maybe give you some help, but I don't have an answer right now.
Dean. Hey, Dean.
Yes.
Before you do that, I want to talk to Miles, because the way he laid out a couple of these things here is a little bit confusing.
Do it,
Like,
do
yes,
it. Yeah. Yeah. Let's work with Miles. I mean,
Okay, yeah, I'll work with him.
okay.
And there's nothing wrong with what he did. It's just
That's
there's
fine.
a couple spots where we should move some numbers around to make it a
Okay.
little bit easier.
I understand.
What
No problem.
The way we've been
Anyway.
the way we've treated the $1,000, it's a stipend, so it's not necessarily to be paid back, right?
Right.
It's a stipend.
That's not the way it's budgeted.
Yeah. Right.
It's
Yeah,
budgeted
good.
that we get paid back.
Okay.
So that's all part of the discussion.
Right.
And I'll tell you what, I'm going to start collecting names, and maybe we'll have a couple of Zoom meetings and figure out how we want to address it. Because there's one more issue, and I don't want to drag the whole thing out.
No, let's just, yes. Good job, Fred. So, okay.
Discussion. Thank you. What else?
Second, I got
Dean?
two more. I got two more items. The second item is that, and I'm not going to go into any details, but I just wanted to remind the board that I have, over the course of the last 3 or 4 years, found volunteers to host committees, and I think that we haven't been led down a rabbit hole of any of these committee chair people, and the message here is that when I ask somebody to do something, I am giving them some delegated authority to if it's a day-to-day kind of decision, then we don't need to run this through up the flagpole 15 times to tomorrow to get it approved. But if it's going to affect policy or it's going to affect any changes, then yes, we need to bring it to the board, and I'm just going to work a little bit harder just to make sure that when things do come up, and we have something come up this week, that we get it to the board so at least they know what's going on and they don't get blindsided. So, and the final, yes, go ahead, Fred.
Well, I think that's the purpose and why we changed the bylaws of, I don't know, a year or two ago, just asking for a simple communication report at the monthly meeting so the board's aware of what's going on. And you know what I mean? I always read them. I always find them interesting. Sometimes it looks like we're treading water a little bit, but who am I to decide? But I think it's important that the board just be aware. So that simple communication fills the bill as far as the bylaws, and certainly in my perspective.
And just so that everybody knows it, I asked Katie to write a status report by the end of the month, just like all the other committees. So, that is in our bylaws that established committees will provide reports. And, this past month was a bad month. I mean, Matt was on vacation for 2 weeks and didn't get one out, and eyeball and everything else. But anyway, and the last thing that I have is I got asked, and I've been asked this couple of 2 or 3 times over the last few years, but why can't we do a better job at handling combos? And I'm going to turn it over to Gary, because he basically put some stuff in writing and sent it to me, and I think he's got some good points. We're not going to vote on anything tonight. We're going to kind of start tossing this thing around and see if well, anyway, Gary, go ahead.
Yeah. So a little while ago, I got an email from one of my 4th area people. And the question was, why do we handle combos the way we handle them? It seems kind of odd. For example, if one side of the combo goes up for grabs, and a station comes back to them and they work that station can work the other side of the combo. But, pardon?
No.
Wrong.
No.
Exactly opposite.
What?
I don't think so.
No.
AA1NA is the only one that's been allowing that.
Right. I always freak out when I hear them do it.
So when the combo calls a station directly, that station can't work the other side of the combo.
Correct.
I think that's the decider. If it's the combo calling, you can't work both. If it's another station calling, you can work both.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what we're proposing here is, because there has been a lot of confusion on this, and if you read the combo rules in the NCS guideline, and that's the only place there are combo rules. There's a definition of combos in the bylaws, but there's no rules about how they should be handled on the air in the bylaws, right? So what we're proposing here is to simplify this dramatically and basically just say that if a combo works a station, that station at their discretion can work the other side of the combo, regardless of how they got there. Because there's been a lot of inconsistency, and that's what the email was about the inconsistency of the way that, and part of it is the rules are pretty convoluted if you read them today. And Rule 27 is in the NCS guideline is really kind of, I don't even know what it means. So that's what we're proposing, and it would simplify it for everybody beyond what it is today.
Gary?
Ralph?
Let me go first, Ralph. I'll just be quick. I agree, Gary. It is convoluted. It's not. It has been misinterpreted and used incorrectly currently, but it's because it's so complicated. So if a combo, if you call a combo, you can get the second one. If a combo goes up for grabs and you call, then you can work the second part of a combo. If the combo initiates a call, then you cannot work. You know what? If there's a combo on the board, regardless of how it happens, if you work one of the combo and you want to work the other, go ahead. I think that will just simplify this thing, and we get rid of it and clarify it. I'm done.
Can I say something?
Sure, your turn. You're up, Ralph.
Yeah, try.
I am? All right. Yeah, the problem with that, I agree with a lot of what Craig was saying. But you've got to remember too, that's basically giving both members of the combo an extra call, because they can say, well, I'm going to call this guy, and then I'm going to let you call him, and then it'll be your turn, and you can call somebody, and I get to work them. So it's basically given somewhere in through that where they're getting an extra call is what it appears to me.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Craig. I'm sorry.
No. Sorry, I should go on mute. I was just agreeing.
Would you mind? Gary's got.
I turned the air off kind of while because the microphone is seen.
Yeah. Okay. That's okay.
But it's okay.
Can I ask that, Gary, you're working with a group, maybe for
I'm just getting input from a group. I don't really have a group I'm working with.
Okay, so
people I've talked to.
Do we need to launch a committee, or should we be looking for a motion coming forward? Is that necessary for the NCS guide?
I think what we need to do is, I think that since Gary has brought this to me, I'm going to bounce it back to him. And without micromanaging him, I would probably suggest that he try to find interested parties that would want to put a stake into this and have a Zoom meeting or two and try to figure out, is what we're doing today the right thing to do? Or is it now time that we need to make a change? And if we need to make a change, then I think that's up to Gary to bring that to the board. But again, the reason that I asked tonight for it to come forward is not so that we can approve it or disapprove it, but so that we can be a little bit transparent and let people know what's going on and try to get some more interaction with the board. That's all.
Okay.
So,
Well, fair enough.
And Gary, feel free to draw me in. I've operated combo a bunch, so I can bring that perspective.
Good point, Eric. Yeah, good point.
Right. So anyway.
Right.
And with that, Mr. Chairman of the board, I am done.
Okay. All right. So we are to the tail end of the agenda. If there's anyone got any more comments? Can I get a motion to adjourn?
So move.
Okay, thank you, Ralph. And if there's no objections, we will call ourselves adjourned.